Welcome to the MFS Wellness Podcast, a hybrid structure encompassing health, fitness, self-improvement, and entertainment, where no topic is off limits and all opinions are graciously welcomed.
Let's get on with the show!
And now, here's the host of the show, Mike Sinopoli.
Welcome to the MFS Wellness Podcast. I am Mike Sinopoli, certified nutrition coach, consultant, counselor. Call me whatever you would like. It is mid-November as I record this here, which means we are in the full swing of the holiday season. You may or may not already have your Christmas decorations up. You may be listening to Christmas music already and things of the sort. I think it's entirely too early for that. That's not because I'm a Grinch or a Scrooge or whatever you want to call me, anti-Christmas. I absolutely love the holiday season. I'm a regular Clark Griswold, if I can call myself that. But I believe that if we start too early with the Christmas decorations, with the music, with all that, by mid-December, aren't we getting sick of it already? Are we not? Is it not special anymore? Can we not have this little break in between the spooky Halloween season and the festive holidays to just be thankful, grateful, and focus on Thanksgiving and stuffing our face with turkey? Can we not come up with something in between there? But whatever. You know what? To each their own. If you do it, no big deal. I don't judge. I don't care. That's just me. I like to keep certain things special, sacred, and something to keep looking forward to and not destroy, not to water it down. I don't want to water down Christmas. I'm not going to watch Christmas movies outside of the season. I'm not going to sing Christmas carols, not that I would sing them anyways. And don't you worry, there will never be a podcast where I'm singing Christmas carols to you. So, unless enough people request that, I'll do it. But I can assure you that you're just doing it for your own amusement and benefit, as I'm not the talented singer I wish I could be. Anyways, how do you eat around the holiday season? One of the worst and my least favorite sort of things that is ingrained in us is this: we get fat and gain weight around the holidays. It's like we don't have control over it. It's like, we got to do it. We got to eat like shit and just stuff our faces and just lay around for the last 2 months of the year like complete idle slobs, and we are not in control of that. It couldn't be further from the truth. This is a crucial time to have some sort of awareness of what you're doing here. You can really destroy yourself this time of year if you were struggling throughout the summer maybe to drop some weight and just didn't work out for you. One of the worst things you can do is just throw in the towel and wait for a New Year's resolution. Because what's going to happen is if you got poor habits right now, you're going to go right into this holiday season and you're going to just keep going with it. The thing is, though, you want to balance that out without having to feel restricted and deprived around the holidays. So what I recommend doing, if you're going to track food, you don't have to, but if you're going to, and fat loss is your concern and your weight is your concern, take muscle building out of it and all that for now. But if that is where you're at, I would highly recommend getting yourself in a calorie deficit right now and expect maintenance. What that means is you go lenient on your deficit, right? You go about 200-300 calories underneath your maintenance. Eat like that regularly. Keep foods you like in there. Keep the festive foods in there so you're not deprived. And let yourself have free reign of food at holiday events, Christmas Eve, Thanksgiving, work functions, Friendsgivings, holiday cocktail parties, New Year's Eve. Let yourself just freely eat and do what you think is best for you that day. That means you don't have to go ahead and just completely gorge at every single event like you haven't seen food before. What I think is the best thing you can do is if you are on some sort of fitness journey and you're making progress and you're doing that, commit to maintenance. And, you don't have to have a full-on maintenance plan in place. But like I said, if during these 2 months, November and December, if you are in a lenient calorie deficit and you're just kind of whatever, you're not super heavy tracking, but you're aware of it, you're hitting your protein target, you're under your maintenance level several days, maybe 80% of the time, you're gonna maintain right through the holidays. And guess what? When New Year starts and you want to implement a New Year's resolution, you're gonna be that much more ahead of the game than you would be if you would have let yourself go for 2 months. Because it's not hard to gain 4 or 5 pounds each month here with the food if you let yourself go too far. And then you're just gonna start in a deeper hole, and you might be pretty down on yourself to start the new year. You very well may, just have that post-holiday hangover feel where you're just lethargic and sluggish. Imagine starting out something without that feeling. And, that feeling isn't motivating. It sucks. You want to get out of it, but it doesn't really vault you into doing something wonderful for yourself. It becomes an arduous chore to dig yourself out of this pit of just sodium-ridden bloat and potential fat gain. And I think it's ironic too, because our standard diet in the country, at least here in the United States, we eat relatively poorly with processed foods, fast foods, convenience foods. We don't eat a very good diet. And ironically, the events we go to are family events, and we're probably eating more home-cooked food, real food these days than we are on a regular basis. Yet we blame these days as like the culprits for our fat gain. I don't get it. Like, okay, yeah, maybe it's high calorie, but maybe it's better quality. I don't know. 4 or 5 meals in 2 months isn't going to dictate your entire progress for those months. You could easily gorge 4 or 5 times in 2 months and still make good progress. Maybe instead of losing 10 pounds, you lost 8. Who knows? But it's better than gaining 10. So if anyone is listening here, I wanted to put this out a little bit before the holidays. Because I want to have some people listen to this, and hopefully I can reach somebody and just say, don't give up on yourself completely. Don't feel all or none around the holidays. Go 80-20. 80% of the time, stick in a calorie deficit. Okay? If you don't know what that is, contact me, Google it, talk to a coach, talk to a trainer, anybody. Find a calorie deficit for yourself for 2 months, whatever's left of the year. Get yourself there. Adequate protein, calorie deficit. Stick to it as often as you can. But have the confidence, the wherewithal, and the understanding to eliminate deprivation and enjoy the hell out of your holiday celebrations, whatever they are. And you know what? Maybe you have more than the regular amount of people. Maybe you have like 10 or 12 events coming up, weddings and things like that also go down. Do your best. That's all you can do. Because even if you just maintain for the next 6 to 8 weeks, that is better than gaining pure fat on your body that you're just going to have to spend the first part of January losing on some diet that you're probably not going to want to do for very long. So keep it all as one lifestyle. Don't flip it all over at the new year either. I'll do an episode on a New Year's resolution coming up, so I'm not going to get too heavily into what to do at the new year. But I will tell you, if you can get something down for yourself that's real and regular, you can go all year and make that as your default, a way of eating. A higher protein, lesser processed, somewhat regulated way to eat that's going to make you look good, feel good, and improve your overall health. And also, having the mindset and the acceptance is huge that you are okay to go ahead and eat at your holiday gatherings. The problem with that is that a lot of times we'll go to one, maybe we do have a good mindset, we're going in, we go to one, we eat a lot of food. We eat cookies, sweets, we eat, higher calorie food, we're stuffed. Yeah, and then what happens after that is we self-sabotage and shame ourselves and put ourselves down and as if we're a failure because we ate a little bit extra and we enjoyed our holiday. Now, that leads to quitting. That leads to just a downward spiral of just food consumption. I've been there. I've done it. It's almost like you don't have control. You just get so down on yourself and then you don't want to you feel like you're going to restart. It's not restarting. You're just keep going after that meal. And the problem with all that is that if you don't have that self-forgiveness, you just keep spiraling and you almost punish yourself with more food because you're actually trying to comfort yourself, but you're really punishing yourself. So you're turning to that quick fix that turns into just a worse feeling afterwards. So, it's also a very good feeling to say like, I sort of earned this food in a way. I don't like to use food as a reward, but like if I have a good week and I feel good, I've trained several times and I've eaten pretty well And, I just feel like, hey, I'm going to have this food and I deserve this and I'm going to enjoy it and I'm going to love it and I'm going to eat whatever I want. And that's all right. You have to just draw back a bit and let go of the diet mentality, because the diet mentality is a perfectionist mentality. It allows no room for error. It's meticulous and it's pass or fail in your head. It's been drilled that way. So when you're going to your holiday events, now you can do what you want, but if you do want to still watch as you're going through this, you can do this or not. But here's some tips that I typically give to my clients to just put on social media when you get to like a holiday event. If you really are like concerned and you want to keep it going and you're okay with some restriction. Now, what I recommend doing first off, when you first think about like entering a holiday gathering, right? What's the first thing you'll probably do? You'll have a drink, or there'll be some appetizers or something out. So with drinking alcohol, obviously we know that alcohol is a toxin, and alcohol does nothing for the body positive. But that's fine. You might enjoy it, and it might be something that's something you like to do, and it's just a tradition. So what I would recommend doing is bringing your own lower calorie that might be available. Whether that be a liquor with a 0-calorie mixer, maybe a light beer, a little bit of wine, something like that. I would go lower calorie on the drinks as much as you can without feeling deprived. That's number one. Number two, I would set a mental value. Now, don't overthink this, but like, okay, there's a bowl of Chex Mix. Like, you really need to sit there and take handfuls of Chex Mix in that moment? Is that really something that's going to be worth shoveling into your face? Is that really something you want? Or are you just mindlessly doing it because it's there and you're getting no real benefit from it? You save those calories for later on when the home cooked stuff, Aunt Helen's potatoes are out, and you look forward to those every year. So you kind of say, fuck this right now. I don't need that. I'm going to eat more of that shit later. The good stuff, Dessert, I've found myself that dessert can make you feel like real shit if you eat too much of it. So I tend to see what's available for dessert and just take a bite of a few things that look appealing to me, and that's about it. Or split something with my kids or my wife or something along the lines of that. For the meals, I can say that it's a good idea to fill the first plate with as much protein and vegetables as you can. The reason why is that you'll work towards your protein target. We all know vegetables, although they may be covered and ridden in oils and stuff, they're going to be delicious. It doesn't matter. They're still just a little bit better for you than something else. And then, have plate number two be more, carbohydrates and fats and maybe more junkish food. The reason why we want to do it that way is because we're prioritizing the vegetables and the protein first, and you'll still enjoy that food. I guarantee it. And then you're going to fill up a little bit, and you might not gorge as much on other things that aren't as beneficial. So then towards the end of the night, you get leftovers sometimes to take home. That's something you can leave, or take the vegetables and the turkey home and the proteins and the ham and whatever it is, and then have a plate of that the next day. But make sure you're okay with it. You don't spiral from it. These are little things that just seem very maybe, splitting hairs and meticulous, but little things like this add up. And again, if you don't want to even think about dieting or watching your intake during a holiday thing, that's fine. That's actually good. You should be focusing on your family, good relationships, and the time you have with them. A lot of our culture here doesn't allow a lot of time with our family. We don't have very many holidays in this country as opposed to, the Europeans and other countries. So, that time is valuable, and you don't want to waste that time by thinking about food the whole time and what it's doing in your body. You're not present in the moment. You're certainly, unless you're bodybuilding and you're doing some stage competition, you don't need to Tupperware any food and start bringing that to holidays. That's an ultimate no, in my opinion. So those are just some ways to kind of maneuver through it, if you wanted to. But absolutely, the number one thing is to think as little as you can about it. And even if you think less about it, you may eat less just by not thinking about it as much. Sometimes when we are thinking about how much deprivation and food restrictions we have, sometimes when we think about that, we actually tend to eat more sometimes because we're so hyper-focused. So just ease off and enjoy the holiday. That's all I can say. Your family, your friends, whoever you're with, your kids, take in every minute. Don't let food distract you. Let it be a positive addition to the day. And that is the best way to go. And then with that, just commit the next day, the very next meal, to be a good one. And then just keep going. You can also negate things on the other end. I'm not going to get into that with how to stagger calories and macros. I'm not going to get into that here because I don't believe that's necessary to do for a holiday get together or anything like that. So that's my best advice. Enjoy the day. Love your family. Love the food. Love yourself mostly, because all of that combined is going to make for a great holiday. Anything else marring that is just going to be noise that you don't need. So if you'd like to discuss this any further with me, or have any ideas of your own that you'd like to add, you can hit me up on social media, Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. That is at MFS Wellness. You can email me, mike@mfswellness.com. And if I don't come back on with another podcast before Thanksgiving, I'd like to wish anyone listening to have a very happy Thanksgiving, and we will see you on the next episode. Thank you.